Welcome back, everyone. It's Pia and George here again, Moonward Games. How you doing, Pia? Looking kind of stuck.
Very good. You?
I'm very good, very
Me?
good. Yeah, sorry, you're just like kind of stuck on that gate. I'm gonna start today off by murdering these sheep that made it into the wrong enclosure because this is
Yeah, I was gonna
killing
say,
me.
how are you gonna get them like to go over, and you're literally just gonna kill them?
Yeah, what sheep?
Yeah. What do you mean? I just have wool.
What? These are just. This is the cow pen. Don't you see all these cows in here?
Absolutely. All right. Well, I'm gonna go and get some clay, I think.
Yes, I think I think right at the end of the last episode we sort of got these cows in here. So um, cows are super important. We need that leather. So I'm gonna focus on getting them bred up a little bit here to start us off. But I think our main goal today is to get this house built out, right?
I was speaking to one of our team members here at Moonward, Bobby, and he was like, "Oh my God, you must like have so much great stuff going. Like it must be looking amazing." And I was like, "Bobby, no,
Meanwhile,
it looks." I was like, "Bobby, it looks terrible."
this flower patch is nice though.
Yeah, like some things are good, but we've also got this like horrific chicken pen, and we've also got not much going for us.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And there's nothing horrific about the chicken pen, by the way. Just want to put that out there for everyone who wants to farm chickens efficiently. It's perfectly normal. In fact, let's check up on our
I was actually
eggs.
thinking about this. Yeah, I was thinking about this the other day, and I was just like, I feel like we could have just made them an enclosure, and they would have been happier. And I mean, as you said, they're just pixels.
It's
Doesn't
really
matter.
a reflection on how farming is in the real world, but that's not really a topic I'm here to cover today.
No, no. Anything on your mind, George? Anything happening at Moonwood that you've got on your mind that you want to chat about with our viewers today?
Um, stuff's always happening here. We're always super busy. Um,
Mm,
I think one thing we wanted to talk about today was sort of how you can turn your business or how a software business actually operates, right? Um,
yeah.
super topical, but for for us, we are obviously a software business, but we also provide a lot of the means for our clients to turn themselves into a software business. So we sort of have like an interesting perspective on how everything works right now.
Yeah, I think you're right. We definitely have a lot of clients that, come to us and either software is like an extension of their business, or software is like, the core of their business, as well, which is really cool to work with. And it's something that we've got a lot of insight into as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let me clear this up.
So I think that like, oh no, is it getting dark? Oh
It is
no.
a little bit. We can sleep it
Uh,
off. Oh, maybe
all
before
right.
we get like fully into it, what do we want to do with this house? Because I'm keen to just like turn my brain off and go collect resources for a bit, if that suits.
Yeah, I think well, I'm collecting clay. I don't know if you want to collect clay as well because it's actually like a huge job to get enough clay to make bricks.
Yeah, it's quite
Like
hard to
it will
find.
take forever.
Yeah,
So maybe we both go on a clay mission and then I
sure.
think we both go on like a wood collecting mission.
Okay, okay. Um, yeah, we can split up and both look for clay. I've got a decent bit of food on the go now, so we're looking better and better every day.
I know. Things are coming up. But we are still living in this little hobbit hole.
That's okay. It's okay. It's kind of nice for now. It's homely.
Exactly.
I'm getting attached.
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
Yeah,
the story the
still at the bottom.
story it relates very well to our subject as well, like,
Mm,
and how do you build a software team, especially from the ground up. um I'll assume that if you are someone who is watching this video, then maybe you're having some really big thoughts recently. Maybe you're thinking about creating your own software product, and then obviously running that as a business. So maybe you've had some ideas about a gap in the market that could be done through software. Or, as I said, like, you could be someone who has a business already and you're thinking, wow, like this could be made so much better if I introduced software into it to like help automate a lot of the systems that are being done manually by people. And it's kind of interesting to think about, like, where does this start? What is the start? And I think that it kind of depends, like whether you're going to be getting someone who is going to build the first version of your software or whether you're kind of going to be doing it yourself.
Yeah, yeah. There's plenty of routes you can sort of go with it. I mean, we've talked about these things in previous episodes. Go check out the previous episodes if you haven't yet. But like for example, Andrew started at the very beginning just learning some basic code himself, and he got something up, right? So that's certainly an option. And we also talked previously about how accessible the tech industry really is, and how it's like not a huge issue to go and learn these things. So that's definitely a route people can take.
Yeah, so obviously Andrew he essentially did build his own software business as well. He was running Connect app at the time, and he was the person who was selling, and he was also building and designing and all those sorts of things as well. So he was running a software business. It's a good way to start. Obviously, like you have to put a lot of time into it. You have to learn how to develop software. You have to be super passionate about a multitude of different things. But that's definitely like a route that a lot of people can take as well. If you're looking to kind of like speed things up, essentially, then there are other ways that you could do it, such as hiring a software team.
I think something we sort of say, and again leads back to the previous point, is something we say when we hire our developers a lot is that we're people first and not necessarily skills first. A lot of software, you can certainly upskill yourself over time. It's not a huge deal to learn these skills. It's not like going through an 8-year degree to become a doctor, or a 6.5-year degree to become a lawyer. It's nothing that intense. In fact, you don't need these sort of qualifications really at all to get started. And so what we've found in actually like hiring our developers, our engineers, is that it's all about the people themselves, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like if you are someone who's passionate, I think the like biggest thing, or like if you are going to develop the software for your own company, or if you're going to develop software for another company as an employee, there's always that like preparedness to put in a lot of like time, I guess you could say. It's not like there's a lot to learn. It's definitely not like it's going to be easy peasy. There's definitely a lot of personal learning that you need to put into it, and a lot of time, and that sort of resources is probably more what's involved with like software.
Absolutely, definitely a time game. I know Andrew spent plenty of late nights when he was getting it up and going.
Yeah, 100%. So first thing is, the team. So whether that's like, you're actually going to hire a software team similar to Moonward. Again, like I think the same rules apply that George was talking about there. Like, you really want to hire good people, not just like, I know it sounds like, oh, of course they're going to say this, like, don't push price and stuff like that, because at the end of the day, you want someone who's really, really passionate about building software, and who's really going to get you like a good result, especially if it's going to be your entire business. And when you are, oh my God, I almost just drowned. Are you getting clay as well?
I'm going to start with a little bit of wood, and then I'm going to look into some clay. I think we'll probably have to go on quite a journey to find enough clay. I don't really know what how the pros are out here collecting clay. I don't know what the best way to do it is.
There's probably like a way to automate it, like that chicken farm, but I'm here now. But then also, like, if you are looking to hire, a software team, or hire your first person to help you build your software product, then it's also about like hiring the right person as well. So someone who's like super passionate, someone who's willing to learn, because software is definitely something that you have to do a lot of learning around, in terms of like, you have to do a lot of research. It's definitely one of those jobs that you you never know everything
Yeah, exactly. You never
as
stop
well.
learning. You never stop learning. And I think like one of the biggest skills, if you're looking for someone who's like fairly green, one of the biggest things you can look to outside of their skills and experience is their problem solving skills. Right? That's
Mm.
just some general like life kind of things you can work off of. And generally, if someone's like a good problem solver, they'll also be a good developer.
Mm. I remember, I'm just thinking from our own software journey as well, like, and the team structure that we had. Um, because when we kind of started out, and like, again, this would depend on our own like personal circumstances and um, like, I guess like the software itself that we're talking about. Like, there's so many different types of software. Like, if you're doing something that's to do with I don't know, like cryptocurrency or something, like, you're going to need like some pretty heavy like back end developers. And you might think that your front end is, like pretty tame.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know, am I talking crap here, George?
Nah, not necessarily. Keep going. Keep going.
Um, so kind of like, I know that I hate doing this, but it depends on the business as well. You
Yeah.
kind of have to think about like, what structure do I want to introduce into the business.
It's
I know that when
super,
we were
super
starting out,
contextual for sure.
yeah, 100%. Like, I remember when we were starting out, we the first hire that we made was a designer. Um, and that is because we had a developer in Andrew. Obviously, he's not the most amazing developer, but at the time, that's what we were working with. So that was like a UI, UX designer that we got, which was Lockie.
Yeah. And
And that was a really cool hire.
I think that really like fit the ethos at the time as well because we were very sort of like design driven and we really
Mm.
wanted to focus on like making these like beautiful pieces of software and sort of the
Mm.
functionality and like the architecture and thought behind their actual implementation definitely came down the track. So I think that was like a sort of a good process for us.
Yeah, definitely.
But you're exactly
I think
right with what you said before about like a blockchain integration, right? That's very technical.
mm,
If our requirement for a new business is that we're doing a blockchain integration, maybe we're not so focused on how the website looks to begin with. We're focused on actually like making transactions on the blockchain, right? Because it's pretty
mm,
full on. So you do need to sort of approach your own problem, maybe apply a bit of the problem solving skills that your developers will hopefully have, and sort of figure out exactly what is the best solution to your business and what you might need.
yeah, for sure. So I think it's like, as a standard though, I'm just trying to think about like, it's always good to have a front end developer.
Mm-hmm.
Or depending on the size of your business and like, how big the app is as well, because that really comes into play. Like, if you've really like launched with really synced features, which we will talk about, then you might not need to have like a massive team on hand straight away.
Yeah, yeah. Especially if
And
you're
then
very focused on like one area or one project, it can be really beneficial to work in a small team at that point.
definitely. So then that could be like, I'm going to have a full stack developer or something like that, and maybe like a part-time designer. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I think
Right.
yeah, bare minimum is it really does depend on what you're making, but bare minimum is front end, back end, really. If you want some sort of server architecture, if you really don't need server architecture, it's like a super basic sort of landing page or something like that, then maybe all you need to start out with is a front end developer and sort of work your way up. It's a super valid
Yeah.
approach as well.
So again, it depends
You're
on your business.
right, that is the worst
But there's a lot of
answer.
I know I hate that. People are like, just tell me what to do, and it's just like it depends, like what you're trying to in your business. But full stack's always a good way to start. Otherwise, if you're like, you're unable to have an app team on hand and all that sort of stuff, or you were the original developer or you were the original designer, and you're just looking to like get your own team on board, then I always think like a good place to start is like with a really solid full stack developer.
For sure.
And then maybe a designer.
A little bit of everything. Yeah, designers are super valuable to have. I feel like a lot of people sort of exclude them, but they work incredibly for us here, and I don't know what we'd really do without like the designs we have. Our developers at this point are so reliant on them that they can't make a screen by themselves to save their lives,
Yeah, I know. I think designers are also really good if you're like trying to do marketing material and stuff like that.
That's true. It's very true.
Like if you're trying to advertise your own products, it's like always good to have a designer on board so that you can create landing pages, so that you can create other things and create like some material around your product.
Absolutely. If your product isn't sort of known by anyone, then what's the point in having it? Oh my god.
Okay.
What's going on here?
For all this effort, I have only met. Oh my god, he's right outside.
Wait, you got a lot of clay.
For all this effort, I know, but I've only got 25 bricks. I mean, 25 like block bricks.
Yeah, right.
I feel like I have been working all day. I have been slaving.
We might just have to do a little hybrid, like brick and something else, or something like that. There was some.
I know. I'm thinking like
some alpacas near the farm, so I was just fighting them. They were spitting all over me. It was kind of intense.
Did you get any leads from them?
No, but I will go do that now. I think we have some in one of the chests from the last visit we had.
Oh yeah, we need some leads. Otherwise, we cannot inspire these strange creatures to come and look. Oh my god! He's in here! He's in here on fire! Oh.
Who's? What? A zombie?
I was just like making some bricks peacefully, and then a flaming zombie came in and just died on me.
Bro, we are out here with some eggs right now. This chicken production is going full scale.
Yeah.
I want to get to the point where I can't even see the water anymore. I just want to see chickens.
How many chickens do you reckon's in there?
I don't know. I don't think I want to know. If we get to the point where we start lagging because there's too many chickens, that's when it's time to cull them.
Yeah. We must kill.
I'm thinking you can I think you can enchant a bow with like fire, and it like cooks the chicken for you when you kill it. So I might look into that.
Oh my god. Yeah, that would be so awesome.
These alpacas are still just...
Okay, we're running out of coal.
Are we? Oh no.
Yeah, I know. My genius plan has already fallen apart.
We've
got 25
strip.
I know. I'm going in.
I'll keep looking for clay. I just need to deal with these. Well, I'll keep looking. I haven't started looking yet, but I'll start looking for clay. Just need to deal with these alpacas because they're spitting at me non-stop.
They're running amok.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I hope that answers that as always. I feel like we always say that. We're like, well, I hope that answers that.
Yeah, I think it does. A lot of people wouldn't even know what a front end or a back end developer sort of is. I mean, you'll learn as you start to get into this tech space, especially if you're working around websites and applications. That's where this terminology really lives. But yeah, front end essentially handles everything the user sees, and the back end handles all your databases and all your data and make sure that it's all protected and secure.
And full stack, when I was talking about that, is someone who does both front end and back end.
Yeah, absolutely. Usually, because they're not as specialized, you usually get like a little bit of, bit of both, little mixed bag. But sometimes having that little mixed bag and just being not quite as competent as both is more valuable to a business that just wants to get up and running or wants some small stuff done.
Yeah, exactly. And as I said, it like really depends on your business. I think if you've started really lean and you've got like a really nice scope, then you can you know that the features that you are going live with are completely within your control. And you can have someone who's probably like a full stack developer there instead of paying for like, you know, two people's wages essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I definitely do think like, you know, the UI UX designer is a great one to have though on hand. They're just like, they see things, they see the world from a different perspective as well. I think historically developers are not amazing designers.
Absolutely.
No
Absolutely.
offense, George.
No offense taken.
Um,
Absolutely not.
but you know, if you, it's kind of the balance as well, you know, like I know that a lot of apps, like in some industries, they might not value, you know, having beautiful design as well. And that's totally fair. You know, it's not completely suited for a lot of businesses as well. But I think if you're looking to, you know, contend with some of the big boys in, you know, like the fitness space or, you know, the food space and stuff like that, having a really great design is something that's going to put you miles apart from your competition.
Absolutely. I think what a lot of people don't understand, and this is the honestly the hardest part, especially as a developer, I feel this every day, is that with software products, people assume that they're going to work, right? It's assumed that if you say you're doing a, you know, some sort of like, I don't know, daily planner application, that you're going to be able to, you know, it's going to have a calendar, that's all going to work perfectly. And then your designs are like maybe your differentiating point, or some of your features are your differentiating point. But
Mm.
in reality, making those things work is not a walk in the park, and you'll find that out very quickly as you get into software. But yeah, as a user stepping into those and like, you know, trying to use those pieces of software, you would assume that it's going to work. You don't expect to walk across bugs, but as the owner of one of these software businesses, you're going to run into bugs every single day.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's something that and I think that like it's something that people don't understand, but you know, Facebook can get away with it. Because like how many times have you been like, you know, in the Facebook app and it's just like crashed or something like that, or the YouTube app, like people just they're like, oh, whatever, like, you know, it's just crashed and stuff like that, but they don't allow the same thing to happen within their own app. I'm
Yeah,
not saying that that's great, especially when you've got like very small features and stuff like that. A crash should definitely be looked at, but this is kind of the reality of software as well, is that there's so many moving parts, there's so much going on, and it's definitely not going to be 100% bug free and 100% functional.
yeah, absolutely. I always like to use the metaphor, I suppose, of like a big piece of software is like a huge game of dominoes. At some point, you may introduce a new domino, or you might move around some of your stack, whatever people. I don't know. Domino experts can correct me. I don't know what they're called. But
Yeah.
you're gonna topple over some dominoes for sure, and that's just something you have to be ready and like okay with. Really, you got to take each challenge as it sort of comes.
Of course, it's gonna be in there. And I think that like this kind of doubles back onto UI UX as well. A lot of the, I know that this is something that we've spoken about previously, but we talked about like, you know, user error and design error too. Like, you know, is user error, I know that like, you know, 100% user error happens, but sometimes, you know, user error can be mitigated by great designs
Yeah,
and, you know, great explanations that happen within the design as well.
for sure, for sure. I think yeah, we say that in house because you know there's a lot of points where a developer might use a form exactly as it's meant to be used, kind of thing. Forms are like the perfect example. You know, you look at a form as like a, you know, someone who's like pretty knowledgeable about tech, not even like, you know, a whiz, but like someone who uses apps or websites like on the regular is going to know how to fill out that form. They're going to know to put their email in the email box. They're going to know how to put
Yeah.
their phone number in the phone number box, but not everyone knows that, and you have to consider the fact that maybe that's not user error. Maybe that like it's really like user education, right? So we need to be able, we
Mm.
need to be prepared for situations where people are getting things wrong. We can't just assume, oh, they did it wrong, so we don't need to do anything about it, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And I think like it could be good because I know that forms are something that I didn't really understand until I actually started working in tech. But like a form is, when someone's like signing up for an app and they have to put in, their like name and password and all of those sorts of things as well. And as George said, and even I did that today, I think with an app, I was just like, yeah, okay, like I know how to use this form. But we also need to assume that not everyone actually knows, like, what to do. Like, and you would be surprised, like, honestly, I'm sure that George can vouch for this as well, how many people do not know to put their email in the email, like the place that says email. They'll just
Yeah.
like put, I don't even know, like their phone number or something.
Yeah,
Like
their
we have to
address or
account.
something weird. Yeah,
Yeah, and you're just
it.
like, oh, cool.
I think all the probably most of the people watching this would, not find that so foreign or like
Mm,
weird that people could like get a form like that incorrectly. But I think like the bigger meaning to take out of it is that when we're building software, we're really like building a full like almost like a world. It's like a full environment for someone to interact with.
mm,
We can't just assume that they're going to interact with it perfectly. We have to create the rules for everything. What if they do
mm.
this? What if they do that? If it's something they can do, we need a solution for it. And it's a lot of these sort of like edge cases and scenarios that create a lot of the complexity in software. If I just had to
Yeah.
make a form that let a user like sign up their 5 important fields, then form might take me 20 minutes. I mean, it depends on the form,
Mm.
but and then doing all the extra stuff around it might take a few hours. That's sort of the reality of it.
Yeah, and I think that's where like the designers come in so well, especially, as I was saying, if you're trying to compete with, some of the big boys that are out there. Like, I'm talking if you're a fitness app or something like that, and you're trying to compete in the space with oh, like Sweat or something like that. Um, which if no one's seen Sweat before, it's a app that I think it was founded in Australia by a lady called Kayla, it seems.
Yep.
And she recently sold that app for like 500 million or something. I'll have to fact check that. Don't take my word.
No, it's okay. It's going to come up on screen right now. I love creating new
Yeah,
work for
exactly.
Gabe. That's my favorite thing to do here. Gabe, put it up.
I know.
Put it up.
Yeah, how much of that app cost? Um, But if you're wanting to, compete in that sort of space, like, with those sorts of apps, then it is like, the design of those projects is amazing. Like it's incredible. And as you said, like it is the opportunity for people to create like a world, to let like the brand shine through to give people like an amazing experience on the platform. And that's kind of the beauty of apps as well. It's like you can control that so well. Sometimes the detriment of yourself, like if you're not skilled, you don't have a great, or you're not investing in like a UI UX designer and all that sort of stuff. Um, Sorry, everyone's just leaving, guys. I'm
Yeah.
just waving.
Yeah, yeah. You'll see me doing a
Um,
couple nods, a couple hand waves.
yes, everyone's off for the end of the day. Um, it's an opportunity for you to really let your branding like shine through and to like bring people in on this world, like your world, which is your app.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Okay, I don't even have 64 bricks.
It's
I
okay.
have been working.
Pia. I've brought the goods. Here,
Okay,
let me
okay.
deliver.
I've put lots of coal in here, so we should
So
be stocked
let's
up.
have a sleep. Well, before any monsters gather. But there's more clay in the chest, and I'll go get some more tomorrow as well.
Excellent. I'm gonna go back and get some clay. Not clay. Coal.
Yeah, you get coal. You get coal.
This is good. This is a good. Oh my god, I was shot. Awesome. I think I deserve that. I was feeling too confident. But yeah, that's just one of the most amazing things about UI UX designers is that they can help create your world. And I think that that's the level that people go to when they create an app that's like above a website. Like, the Sweat app could have been a website, but it wouldn't have been that all engrossing experience that she's created on the app. It wouldn't have because a website, although amazing, we definitely do a lot of web apps there and they're super appropriate for different projects. But there's distractions, right?
For sure.
There's other tabs. There's other things going on, there's other things to look at. And that's why it's so amazing to do an app and really encapsulate people on your brand.
For sure, for sure. The amount of things that users can do on a browser, you wouldn't dream of it. You wouldn't dream of it.
So, UI UX designer, very good hire. If you can, if you want, obviously, if it suits your business, if you're someone who feels that the design of your app is going to be a key part of it, then I would definitely say go for one.
I think sort of the next thing that's not touched along a lot is actually sort of like an owner, right? More so someone who brings a vision to the project. At the end of the day, you're making something. You're making a product, and you need a good outlook, and almost like a director, right? You need a good vision on what you're creating, so that all the people in your team can stay aligned to one sort of vision. And that's not to say that they can't contribute to that vision, but
of course.
Yeah, staying aligned with that and making sure you make something that's along the same theme, has things that your users will actually want or need, is super important.
Yeah, that's a great point as well. And definitely something that is really interesting. And I think that it's not just about apps as well. I think this is about business in general.
Yeah.
Because you kind of want, I think I always call them the flag flyer, the person who waves the flag and is guys, this is the vision, follow me. Let's go. Let's go to uncharted places. Let's go to different areas. Let's bring this vision to life and all that sort of stuff as well. So that's a really great point, actually.
Now, I'm absolutely cleaning this place out of clay.
Really? Where are you?
Just in some river. There won't be a single clay block left when I'm done with this.
Okay, so we've got 79 bricks.
Did you see the ones I put in the chest?
Yeah, I'm scared. Sweet. I need to go get some more clay. I mean coal. Oh my god, what's wrong with me?
We can get a lot of clay here. Oh, if we had I'm pretty sure, the fortune enchantment that you can get on and stuff, that works with clay. So when we mine it, you'd get 6 instead of 2 or whatever you get. I don't know. But
really?
Yeah, but we need a full enchanting setup for that, and
we're getting there. We're building this house.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. We're getting the cows going. It's the important part.
Exactly. We need their leather. I think I could start building, to be honest. I think I've got a good starting point.
Yeah, start building if you want.
I need the vision. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm thinking I want to. I'm gonna get a little more clay. You gather your vision, and I'm gonna get a little more clay, and then maybe I want to kind of increase the farm a bit, just so we have more wheat to actually breed up all the cows we'll be needing. Just maybe make it a little build project, something like that.
I wonder, should I move the location of our house?
If you want to, I'm not opposed. Wherever you think is a good fit. Sounds good to me.
This is the question. I feel like we've really, we're in a very interesting space. We've got this lava pit. We've got, what, I'm just gonna get into this. I'm just gonna, it's gonna come to me as I go. I feel like I always use a bit of TikTok here to inspire me, but I'm just gonna go.
I was actually thinking about looking up some farm inspirations as well. Might do that later.
God.
One of the other things that you'll probably encounter if you're getting into software as a business for the first time is some of the like working methodologies that people apply to software. I don't know if they're super like pronounced in other business areas. I'm talking stuff like waterfall versus agile, scrum, stuff like that. Do you know if they're like really involved in other industries?
I can only speak from my own experience, having worked in marketing.
Hmm.
I don't think, and like, and obviously, like, I worked in marketing for an accounting company. I really don't think that there was stuff like that, to be
Mm.
honest.
Mm.
Like, there wasn't really any
Did you have
methodologies like it.
did you work in like teams?
Not really, like, yeah, we did. Um, I think if anything, there's more like the personnel structure instead of like, the
Yeah.
methodology that you're kind of talking about
Yeah,
here.
and you can just tell by like
Um,
the wording you chose, like how much more like corporate that is.
you're right.
Yeah.
It's more like, having worked in, not marketing, like, but, in legal and accounting, there's obviously something called like, associates and like partners and like all that sort of stuff as well.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
think that that's what really builds, the structure of their teams. And it will be like, the associate is in charge and the lawyer works under the associate.
Yeah.
That's kind of the vibe that happens in these other sort of industries.
Yeah, and there's definitely like an equivalent of that in software, but it's like definitely not something you need to worry about at all while you're starting your software business. But something you might want to be worried about is sort of how those teams actually work, and that's we're talking about like our waterfall methods, our Scrum methods, kind of thing, agile development. So I don't know if you want to maybe like describe some of those things and like maybe how Moonward's used these development methodologies in the past.
Yeah, so when we're talking about, I think that like in software, there's really only two methodologies that are used. Like, so if you're building your own software team and stuff like that, you will come across these terms a lot.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about waterfall, we're talking about like the idea, obviously, of a waterfall. So something that starts at the top and then goes down to the bottom. And usually when it starts at the top, we're talking about scope. So like what's this product going to have in it? Like what's it going to achieve? How's it going to make money? Like all of these sorts of things. And as you go down, like more and more of the project is fleshed out. For example, you might be like the designs are going to go off the scope, and then the development's going to go off the scope, and then it's going to be delivered. And I think that from the outside looking in, that sounds amazing. It's like, yeah, we just like create a plan and we just execute the
And we
plan.
just do it, and it's all good.
Yeah, it's just done. Like, and like why is it mysterious?
Yeah, it's
The
almost how probably more standard industries would work. Okay, like this week
yeah.
I have to file these accounts, so I go and I file those accounts, and that's what I do for the week, or something like that. That was like probably the most
Yeah.
generic like business term I could have used.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you start at the top. I think construction's a good one to use as well. You like set the budget and you basically do not deviate. You just continue going down.
Yep.
Which is great. Like, it works for a lot of different industries. There's something that, a lot of people who may be transitioning from a different industry understand, which is why it's really, great. And a lot of people like, it translates a lot easier to people who don't really understand software, the waterfall methodology. The problem with the waterfall methodology is that software just does not work like that. Like, in software, so many things can change like along the way and along the journey. Like you might decide that a feature that you thought was really, really important for the first release of your product is just like no longer important anymore. You might get like a big investor in, and they say like, hey, I'm only going to invest in you if you do this one feature. And there's a lot of different situations like that as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
That like can come up.
And I think that's actually to the benefit of software. Like a lot of people wouldn't see it as if they're stuck in these situations and it's hard to change. But we'll get to that. But going back to the the construction example. If you get halfway through, your new building being built, and you go, actually, can we change this? Then you're either looking at a flat no, we've laid the foundation already, we can't do it like this, or you're looking at a huge expense to sort of do that. But it's similar in some regards. Maybe there are some foundations we've laid in a software application that make it difficult, but certainly nothing is off the table, right?
Yeah, and this is the nature of software, which kind of introduces the second methodology, which I'm sure that again you'll come across a lot, and that is like agile development, which is what we use here at Moonward. So what that means is that you can, pivot. You can be agile. You can do different things. You can change your plans. I wouldn't say halfway through, but you can change your plans much easier, and they're not going to have such dire consequences, such as in construction. You can just be like, hey, like I really think that I want to implement this feature. I really want to make this change to this feature that you've already implemented, and stuff like that, and know that it can be done because a good foundation has been laid by the software team, and that's also again the nature of software.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Pia said, if you spend a bit of time. Also, should we sleep? I'm scared.
Oh my god.
As Pia said, if you start to get into this world, you'll hear these things thrown around all the time. You'll hear agile development thrown around all the time, to the point where it's sort of become a buzzword. But what it essentially means, and there's lots of reading you can do on like how people implement this properly, but what it really means is the ability to react to changes in your requirements or changes in your scope or whatever, and put that into motion quickly. It's work on things that we want now, rather than sticking so much to a plan that nothing is ever allowed to change, which is the very waterfall approach.
And I think that just from personal experience as well, because we at Connect, definitely not at Moonward, but we used to use agile development, not agile, waterfall development. Yeah. And what we realized is that nothing, like no project basically, will be waterfall. Like it's kind of impossible.
Yeah.
As well.
There is
because
so much that changes over the course of design and development that it's never feasible, really. I'm sure in some like extreme cases for different industries using software that maybe it is feasible. Maybe you have to be government compliant and it has to be a certain way or something like that, where sure, waterfall might work great in that instance, but as a sort of general rule, I'd say it's not a super nice way to deal with your day-to-day work on a software product.
Exactly, and so much is going to change. Like the time frame of building like a software product as well is kind of similar in a way to like the time frame of building a house. Even though it is code and stuff like that, it is a similar time frame to building a house. You can work on it for a very long time, and to think that you're not going to have any ideas, that you're not going to have any changes in your business along the way is just like, it's not true.
Yeah, honestly, it's a pretty naive thought. Like, if you're not ready to make those adaptations, you're falling behind.
Yeah, exactly.
Before you even started.
Things will change. Like you will have ideas, surely, because you're someone who's investing in software. So you're someone who's, probably as a personality type, someone who is an ideas person, who's thinking about things, who is someone who wants to do things differently and stuff like that. And to think that your product is not going to change is not true. So that's why the agile method is really great. Especially for the business that we work in. And as George said, like, if you're a government project or something like that, then it might be fine. It might work really well to do waterfall. But in our experience, agile is great.
Yep. Yep, very much like more focused on the now, constantly like delivering. So you get to see things in motion, so you get to try things out. I think that's one of the biggest benefits that people don't talk about with software is like the actual, the ability to just test it. You can't really walk into your house and start living in it halfway through construction, but you can definitely do that with the software product, and even better, you can get other people to try it out for you and see their sort of feedback on it and how they feel about the things you've implemented. And then you get the ability to change that earlier on to the piece instead of releasing it and then finding out. So there's tons of benefits. Yeah. Well, that guy just disappeared right before my very eyes.
We also need to make some glass.
Yes.
Glass.
There's plenty of sand around to grab. So we are good for that, for sure.
I think we're good in the brick department, I would say, for a while.
I'm no longer grabbing bricks. That was tough.
Yeah, it was tough. It's like near drowning as well.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go on a glass mission.
Great.
Get some sand. I think our house is looking good. You know, I've learned some like mistakes from previous houses that I've made on Minecraft, and I'm really going to put like the aesthetic into this house. I've decided I'm really going to I'm going to take my lessons from other houses and really focus on the look. It might be a bit smaller, than some houses.
That's okay. That's a perfect example of reducing your scope so that you can get something out.
Because I feel like when I've made like big houses before, they can sometimes be like a little bit janky. Like the staircase like doesn't fit right, and you're just like, well, very good.
For sure.
So I'm really gonna I'm gonna take my time here. I'm really gonna make this beautiful. Oh, my fingers broke.
So we sort of talked about like the type of people, the way you want to work. Was there something else we wanted to touch on for the sort of like starting your own software?
Yeah. The biggest thing when starting a software company, and I can just say this like from our own personal experience, is systems.
Yes.
Systems, like software loves systems because, software and code in particular is a very like logical, like linear sort of thing. You can obviously be creative like by having a designer join your team, and you can really like have beautiful brands and all that sort of stuff, but software is a very like linear thing. Like, does it work? Yes or no? It's so a really great thing to do, and just for like start businesses in general, is just like having amazing systems, having amazing deployment systems, having amazing like feature release systems that you learn from with like mistakes that you might have made. Like at Moonward, we've got like a system here on deploying releases, and a rule that we don't do them on a Friday.
Yeah.
These are things that you'll learn like along your journey. But they're things that you should listen to and implement as well.
Yeah. You'll have plenty of like little rules like that you'll discover along your business time. Obviously for us, we would use the work week to work on some features, some code, and then be ready to deliver by the end of the week. And we'd usually get it out, and then stuff would break over the weekend and no one would be there to fix it. So that was an easy system to sort of identify and be like, okay, that's enough of that. Let's get something in place so that we're not doing this anymore, because it's obviously not working. And I think that's the best way to identify like new systems or the need for new systems in your business, is to find areas that obviously aren't working and sort of constantly review those, look at how you can do them better. And that's sort of like how we've birthed some of the best systems we have.
Yeah, I think like we're ever since we were even Connect as well, we like systems have been such a massive part of our business. And like as you said, some of the learnings that we've taken has really helped us, that we've actually carried over like for years. But But like, if you've got a designer on board, like how does the designer work with your developer? Like that all needs to be a system. Like, how does a designer tackle a new piece of feedback that's come through over the weekend from one of your users? How is a developer going to get the designs handed over to them? Like that's all a part of, this system as well. And especially if you're a software business, sometimes like resources can be limited. So it's good to systemize when you need things as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Just realized I made this whole thing one too short. Kind of sad. I have to redo it all because of bad systems. Yeah, but
Bad system.
if you're not constantly sort of reviewing how your systems are and how you work, like you're probably gonna fall behind. Same sort of thing. I think it's I mean, you can say this about nearly anything, but like continual improvement is the way to go. You should never feel satisfied with where you're at, or where your business is at, or where your skills are at, or where your employees' skills are at. There's always something to improve. And systems is just one of those small things, but an important part, but there's so many.
Yeah, definitely. And I think this applies for like, a lot of different businesses as well. But I think like, especially if you're maybe someone who's not like a huge person in software, like, this is like an introduction to you, you're really thinking about like starting a business in the space and all that sort of stuff, you will be making systems forever. And it's good, like, definitely something that we think about at Moonward is like, when a system breaks, that's such a great thing as well. Like, it's like, yes, a system has broken. It worked for a time being, and now it's time to move on.
Yeah, well, it means
to create a new one.
If something breaks, it means you can make it better, right? Which is exciting, but it also means that you can be better, which is much more exciting.
Yeah, of course. Of course. All right, well, look at this. I've made some moves. I don't know where you are, but I've got the base of the house in.
Nice.
It's actually looking good.
Let me come and have a look. I forget that I'm sort of the cameraman as well, so let me come have a look so that people can see what you got going on.
I mean, it's nothing to like write home about, but like that's all right.
It's nice. Try to lower expectations there. Oh yeah, you know what? Much like we've been speaking for this episode, we've laid a foundation. Think of this building as your software product, and this is the beginning, right?
Yeah, I think like maybe I don't know. I'm thinking maybe I'm gonna, when you go into like a house and it looks like really normal on the inside, and then it's just like randomly got like this back section which like drops away. That's kind of what I'm thinking I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna create like some sort of staircase down.
Do you know how to make paintings?
Yeah. Is that wool?
It is wool.
And
wool and sticks. Wool and sticks. Have you seen the secret door painting thing?
No.
Let me show you this. Maybe this will inspire you. Just what you said, like, made me think about it a little bit.
Is it like when there's like you walk into a painting and there's like a door, like Harry Potter?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Excellent.
So if I do
Spin it up. Let's do it.
If I do like, I can't remember how to do it. Maybe it's like this. No, is that only gonna do one-off paintings? Yeah.
No.
So if I do that and then I remove this one. No, I forget how to do it. They better not have taken it out, just like my chicken farm. I'll be very upset. Can't believe they took.
I feel like I've seen this happen before.
Yeah, this is a classic thing. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, I think you have to remove this, bro. Move this, and I don't have an axe anymore either. I'm just like beating this, and then remove this.
Yeah, okay, that worked. Oh no, it's gone. What?
Oh, what the heck?
That's all right. Well, I'll do some research and we'll get that going next time. I'm gonna leave this painting in my inventory as a reminder of the path I must take.
All right. Well, I feel like we've made some good moves. We've got the foundation of our house. We've got a lot of like the bricks baking away there, ready to build this. I think that, after this next episode, I'm gonna probably destroy this other house and we can just pretend that never happened.
Absolutely, leave it in the
Um,
past.
exactly. That'll be version 1 and this is version 2. Develop a joke.
It's better when you explain it.
Yeah. V1, V2. But yeah, next episode I feel like we've got some good stuff going. Maybe we should do something dangerous. Maybe we should go and look for, one of those mines that we were talking about and try and get a saddle, or we should go to like the Nether and like,
Yeah,
because we've got this like monument.
I would definitely love to find. It's easier said than done, but I would love to find one of those sorts of mines and get a saddle. Just because these horses we have all
Horses.
around are just like they're just mocking us. They need to be put in their
I
place.
know. I know. They're like, well, you don't have a saddle, so you're gonna have to walk on your own 2 legs.
You've sort of created like accidental like bit of Minecraft like parkour here.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I just fell on the first rung. Oh, dang.
I can make that. I can make that for sure.
Oh wow, you did.
Yeah, get up there. But
Like
then...
one of those TikTok videos.
Yeah, exactly. Jump puzzles. Oh my god, terrible.
Well, anyway, thanks for joining us, guys. If you have any other questions, let us know. Any subjects that you want us to touch on, we can do so. And then, yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Bye.